Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I just came back from a 6-hour drive through Vegas. I got 3rd place at the Las Vegas Regional. I played Tellarknights. I thought that even with the new points update, they were basically just saying you are not allowed to floodgate the shit out of people anymore. So I was like, okay, well, I would rather play the deck without it. I've been playing it without it since its inception. I still think it's a very, very good deck into the format, seeing as there's Darklord and there's still like Vanquish Soul rolling around and Fairy Tale and everything like that. And so I just think this is just the deck that has the most pushes in the format. And there's not a very easy choke point that you can just be like, oh, you stop this card and then it's done. So we'll go ahead and start with the main boy. We have our Castor, TELLARKNIGHT Castor. This guy summons all of your guys from the deck. It does lock you into Light and Darks from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, but that's besides the point. It also has a secret effect where it says if you have this underneath a Constellar monster, if you detach 2 materials from it, it negates a spell. And I think that came up pretty much like every time I faced a Darklord player. They were like, I had this on my end board and a couple other cards that said like spin back to your deck. And that anytime they activated Darklord Dance, I just like I held this up and resolved it. And since they can't resolve Darklord Dance, it was basically wrapped up from there. The next one is going to be TELLARKNIGHT Saigen. This one is pretty much the thing that you get off from Castor. Summons and grabs a Constellar or TELLARKNIGHT monster. So it's just a very good way of just adding the consistency to your deck, being able to overlay into your XYZs. It has another effect where it can boost the levels of 2 of your guys, including itself, or 1 of its guys, including itself. And so you can overlay into your 5s and so on and so forth pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, that's basically all I would need to say about this card. This one was phenomenal. And this one was the one that was the additional points. This one went to 5. Once again, like when this dropped, I had to kind of cut down on the point values a little bit. So I was only running 2 of the essentially the pseudo extenders. The Castor chain blocking is insane because whenever you normal summon, you can special summon this from your hand, and then this guy gets you your TELLARKNIGHT spell. And I was really debating at one point running 3 copies of the spell just because it was extremely good coming into boards, because a lot of people would target my guys and all I would do is just spin them back and go through an extender, be able to get extra bodies on the board. But yeah, very good card. The next are basically the one-ofs. I'll go through each one of them pretty specifically. You have Anukalai. This one foolishes a guy. The Vega, which special summons a guy from your hand, and then the Altair, which special summons 1 from graveyard. All of these I think are very important. Just going into how the deck is built next is because you basically want to always set up the unaffected XYZ in your extra deck. I didn't face a Fairy Tale, but when I was playtesting against Fairy Tale, they would just establish 2 bodies and I would spin them back. And since most of their protection is either via the field spell or the Endymion spell to like protect from destruction, it was just null and void, didn't matter. The card that you foolish with Anukalai is Altarian, which has a lot of utility. I mean, like this card makes it so that you end on the craziest boards when you have this guy in rotation. When he's special summoned, he pops cards up to the number of XYZ cards you control. The fact that you can like basically blow up a whole set of back row is crazy. The card that you search off of Cyan, this is Caduceus. And he searches for the Constellar spell, which I believe custom card ever built for this specific strategy. The next card that I have is a card I was very much debating on running up until I came to locals on that Friday up in Vegas. There's a guy, he said that he had one and I just picked it up and I decided to run with it. So it is the Constellar Sombre. This guy makes it so you can set up your Deltaros and make it float twice. Gives you an additional normal summon. The normal summon doesn't necessarily come up. It's just the fact that you can banish a Constellar from your graveyard, since you want to float from your banished more than from your hand with the Deltaros in the extra deck. Those are all of the guys. Of course, it's not a very big engine. A lot of one-ofs. You feel like this deck would brick a lot of the times, but because you have so many things that can like do extra normals and special, and you have a lot of extenders, you don't need extra copies of a lot of the other cards. The next one is the Gem Knight engine. This is basically the fairy engine. This was discovered back when people were running the fairy pile. It gets you into a rank 4 by itself without putting a whole lot of extra pressure. And then of course you have the brick, the quartz. And then you have the the crazy fairy hand traps, Herald of the Orange Light, 2 copies of Green Light, and then the 1 Ava. I figure the 1 Ava just allowing you to search and grab stuff and being able to add cards back from your graveyard just during your combo gets you your fairies into your hand. So you never really feel like if you open up with just 1 fairy, you're not gonna have this live. But you can just set them up very, very easily. And if you have Ava, then you just get multiple negates in the hand. Absolutely insane engine. I was wanting to run 1 extra extender in the form of a Sakitama. This just is an activated from the hand, allows you to normal summon. And so it can get you that additional body just in case they remove just 1 too many while you're trying to make your XYZs. I decided to run 2 Ghost Ogre thing because I just wanted something against all the field spell decks. It was good. Onto the spell cards. Still Nova Binding. Very, very good spell. I really wish I could run this back at 3, but once again, the way that I'm running the engines, it's just very, very limited space. The 1 spell that you search and the other spell that you search through the combo, the Stellar one and the Constellar Tellarknights. These ones, if you ever lose them, then you can add them back with Caduceus in the extra deck. They're very, very good. Allows you to play through extender and extend, and then this one allows you to rank up into your big, annoying, unbeatable boss monster. We have the major pointed card, the card that was put to 11, 7th Tachyon. It's really funny because I feel like, you see this card running at 3 and you never see the companion card that searches it. I was extremely surprised when this card wasn't also pointed along with it. We decided, all right, we were running it at 3, but now I guess we can just run it at 4 now. So yeah, this searches this guy, and then this gets your bricks out of your hand and back into the deck, which is the reason why I decided to keep playing it. I think it's very, very important so that you're not just special summoning a bunch of cards from your hand and losing a lot of value. I wanted to go with 1 more extender. I felt like we still had the Fua and Prulia were still very, very underpointed, and if they pitched them, I wanted just to be able to get an extra extender. Spell card Monster Reborn allows you to special summon any monster from the graveyards, and then it can't attack and can't activate its effects. Very, very broken card. Loved it all day. This was also like a pseudo DD Crow. Once again, if I would have faced it against Fairy Tail, then I would be pretty much grabbing their Machigirus, their Snows from the graveyard, and just stealing them and keeping them under my XYZs. The last card, this was the extra support for the fairy archetype. This sends a fairy from deck to grave. That's the reason why I was running Ava. That's why I was running Gem Knight. It also randomly, when I did see it, it floats again from the graveyard. So if you pop this with Deltaros, you float another body, which is also had wonderful synergies there. That's the main deck. It was, I hope I made it 40 cards. That is, I wanted to be as consistent as possible. I was trying to push to get my invite as fast as possible this year because it was, now that we have Genesys as an invite only, I just wanted to make sure that I had it secured so I can play around in the format some more. Off to the extra deck. We have 2 copies of the Constellar Caduceus in the extra deck. Has 2 major effects. This one, you banish a card, you copy its effect, and it also adds 2 Constellar Tellarknights from your graveyard to your hand. Very wonderful card. This just allows you to keep pushing, and it's generally your main starter. It's also generic. So it's that one. We have the 10-point card, Tellarknight Constellar Deltaros. This has no once per turn effect on it at all. It is ridiculously broken. This one allows you to search for any of your Tellarknights. You do an additional normal summon, so you can immediately combos with Laren and a bunch of other stuff like Sombre and things like that. And then if it's detached and if it leaves the field without being left from the field, which is basically if it's being detached as a material, it floats in from banished or hand, which just allows, and because either of those are once per turn, you just constantly get more and more bodies on the field to help you make your most sustainable board. You have the Deltaros, which of course, like I said, combos with the Blessing, the Vingloff's Blessing, pops cards. If you keep this on the field as you're comboing, they can't respond to your normal summons. Very, very good card. You got the extra support cards, the Constellar Pleiades, just allows you to bounce cards. It sets them back. This is just your tempo card. It also helps you recycle a lot of your other engine. I like ending on like this card, the Unaffected Guy, and one of the Star Liege, which allows you to make it so that your stuff's untargetable. And I end up bouncing, where is it? I end up bouncing this back to my hand after I rank up so that I have this as an extender for next turn. The guy that you use to rank up on it, you hardly ever use this effect, but it also does bounce, just like Pallades. Diamond, this card is absolutely insane against the Darklord matchup. They can't activate any of their dark effects, or otherwise I negate it. And then when you have this guy underneath it, this guy, your Catastor, when that's underneath it, then you can detach 2 and negate the dance. And so it's just like, it's really GG's when you summon that card against them. Unaffected boss monster. Quick effect spin, and when you have 7 or more Constellar monsters in your graveyard, which is very, very easy to do on turn 1 or just even the course of your opponent playing, this guy doubles his attack and is unaffected by the activated effects of cards. The Eclipse Twins and the Gaga Gaga Magician, this one basically resurrects this. This allows you to float into Deltaros more, gets just more bodies on the field, and then it also makes it so that something that I remember back, it was in the finals, I had this underneath here in a Deltaros, and so even after he Zeused me, I still ended up with an XYZ monster coming back from the field because of twins, the Deltaros floating into another body, and that body summoning another one from the graveyard. So I still had 3 bodies basically ready to go. So he had to Zeus again in order for me to set back. And so he didn't have a Zeus to play during my turn, which was enough to establish at least some sort of comeback my next turn. This is the combination card. Along with it, F0, Utopia Futures Exile. This card's awesome. You have to attack him first before you attack any of my other board. He's just extremely sticky. Next, the utility monsters. There are 4. The 7th Tachyon target, number 104 Masquerade. The Star Liege I decided to run instead of Omega, Constellar Omega. I felt like this was way, way better because it made it so that everything that was 25 or 100 or more was untargetable and can't be destroyed by card effects. I wanted my whole board to just not be able to be stick. It's like, you have to deal with it or you lose. The next card was Exton Knight. I made it exactly once and it did nothing. It was just there for bait. It blows up the field once per chain. It is a very, very broken light monster, and I probably won't ever leave it. I probably won't ever leave the extra deck. And then this was kind of like my tech for the tournament. I felt like this was the best comeback. So a lot of the things just lock you, right? You're locked into light and darks from the extra deck. You can only attack with XYZs. You can only do stuff like this. But if your opponent managed to break through the majority of your board and they just establish just a few bodies in the hand, on the field, or in the graveyard or whatever, you summon this, activate this, you send a card from their field, send a back row and 1 from their hand, and then you just attack with all your guys. Very, very easy. Sick. I feel like I did a lot of explanation, but I really do like this deck. I'll go into the extra deck really, really quickly. This was a very, very botched job. I think I woke up at 4:30 a.m. and made this. It wasn't the most ideal, but I think it had merit. 2 copies of Santa Claus. I put in 1 Gordian Slicer because there are exactly 6 cards in this extra deck that you don't need. So you can just banish all 6 and still be able to do your full combo. I will save that card for later. I ran 1 Foolish Bury, 1 Foolish Return. Once again, I was just wanting more copies of like DD Crow and things to affect the graveyard because it was the deck already has kind of a hard time dealing with stuff like that. Same thing with Silent Graveyard. We will go, I guess I'll finish off the spells. This card was MVP of the side deck. My Body is a Shield. Try to save yourself from Ghost Ogres, try to save cards from stuff. This was the next best option. That was 0 points. My Body is a Shield. You pay 1,500 life points. Negate the activation of something that would destroy a card on the field. So this saved me from a bunch of destruction-like effects while I was going second. This honestly could be moved to the main deck. The next card I ran was Typhoon. I wanted a hand trap similar to Ghost Ogre that allows me to hit back row, but it also still just like gets rid of stubborn floodgates and things like that. And then the last card was Stellanova Alpha. It's very nice. I like this card a lot. Not much more to explain. I want to make a huge shout out to like basically everybody who helped me prepare. I really appreciate their motivation. They could be hard asses, but most of who I live next to just love Advanced a little too much, and I don't blame them. I do like playing Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and this was just like one of the formats that I felt like allows for people to deck build a little bit more, and and it rewards those people who deck build. I appreciate everybody who came out. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to continue to make videos like this in the future. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye out. If I missed anybody, I'll try to put them in the link down in the description. I really do appreciate your time. Peace.